What's up guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing another Assetto Corsa guide. Oh no, it's the guy that keeps making videos on these. But there was a load of problems with the last one. There's been a load of updates since the last one, and people keep messaging me about all these problems and errors. So hopefully this new version of the video should answer all these questions for you. Now, before we get into it, let me just do all my obligatory plugs. I am a Twitch streamer, so please make sure you come over to my Twitch channel if this guide helped you, if you followed it and it was really helpful for you. I would appreciate it if you drop a follow on the channel, and it would be nice to meet some of you and talk to you in real time. And we sometimes do community races on Assetto or iRacing, so make sure you get involved in those too. Now, I'm just going to give you a quick disclaimer that everything we're going to be doing today is available on assettoserver.org. So if you guys want to follow it for yourself, if you don't like the sound of my voice or I'm really annoying on screen, head to assettoserver.org as you can see, and you can follow a text version of this. What I'm going to be doing today is basically just following this along with you, making more of a video guide rather than a text guide, because I don't know, for stuff like this, I prefer watching a video rather than just reading a load of text on screen. Again, another disclaimer is I will be doing the initial setup and showing you how to just start your own server and just adding cars and tracks and stuff like that you like. For anything extra, like anything weather related or teleporting, or you like to change your color of the car while you're in game, or you want some plugins of like kicking people who are driving the wrong way or kicking people who don't have their headlights on. All of that is going to be in another extended video, which will be available on my Patreon. Yes, I have to be that guy because I'm a content creator and I'm trying to make this my life. So you can literally become a member of my Patreon for literally £1 a month. You can literally just become a member, watch this video or follow everything, make sure it's set up, and once it's done, you can just unsubscribe if you prefer. But I would appreciate anyone and everyone's support if you just come over and yeah, just support me, because being a content creator in this day and age is super hard and difficult. So let's get started. Again, all of the instructions are going to be on assettoserver.org, so anything that you don't really understand, or if I've glossed over something a bit too fast, head over to this website and it gives you a bit more of an in-depth description of what you need or something that you're doing. So this guide will show you the initial setup process of setting up your own free roam server in Assetto Server on a Windows machine. Keep note of a Windows machine. We'll be setting up our server in a dedicated folder outside of Content Manager, going over how to configure AI traffic, how to use a few settings to customize the server, and learning how to troubleshoot some of the more common causes of server crashes. Prerequisites. To follow along, you will need the following things: the latest version of Assetto Server, which you can download from this website. I will show you how. The full version of Content Manager, make sure that's very important. The Shitoko Revival Project track and fastlane.ai/p, which is basically the AI path and where the cars drive and stuff and AI. And a basic understanding of how text editors work. That one's not really too necessary because I'll be guiding you guys through it today. So finding the latest version of Assetto Server. On the installation section of the introduction page, follow the latest stable release link, click on Assetto Server Win X64 in the assets, and download. So let's follow this link and download Assetto Server Win X64 from the latest stable release. We're heading over to GitHub. So you can see this is updated on December 22nd, 2023. And you can see all of these changes they make. So there's different versions. So if you head to releases, there's all these different versions which they keep doing. So awesome stuff by the guys at Assetto Server. Keep doing what you do. And modding communities like this are amazing. So make sure you kind of support people where you can and if you're able to, because yeah, the more people support modders, the more stuff that they can release, and cool stuff like this can happen, and we basically make games way more fun than developers originally intended them to. Okay, so purchasing the full version of Content Manager, purchase the full version via the official website, which you can head to here, or you can head to X4Fab's Patreon and then enter your key in Content Manager by heading to settings and then changing your app key. This is Content Manager's website. Make sure you go and support it. Without this, I think Assetto Corsa would be the worst game to navigate through, because for anyone that's opened Assetto Corsa, the original version, the menus are horrible. Let's put it this way. Assetto Corsa are great at designing cars and physics, but my god, menus, let's leave it to somebody else. But yeah, get Content Manager, literally head to this website, click Content Manager, scroll down to the bottom, and you can download the light version, but we need the full version. So head to itch.io and you can purchase it here. You can literally pay like $5. Download this custom launcher by purchasing it for $2 or more. So if you really wanted to, you could just purchase $2 or head to Stripe and pay through here. So literally all you can donate, or all you need to donate, is $2 if you really wanted to. They will then send you an email with your code, which you then add into Content Manager, and bada bing, bada boom, you got the full version. All right, downloading Shitoko Revival Project track and AI spline. You can use any track that you have a fastlane.aip for. In this guide, we'll use SRP as it's one of the most popular tracks. So FDR, I think it is another one of those tracks. There's a Horizon map. I think that's got AI stuff now. There is another one as well. I think it's like a Daikoku map or something like that for another like part of Japan's cool car culture. If those maps have fastlane.aip, so whoever's made them and it's given you the AI splines, you can follow this guide, but instead every time I do something with the Shitoko Revival project, you just need to change it to your version. So if it's FDR, I think it's called like FDR_highway, whatever. You can follow this guide, it will still work, but you just need to do that stuff with those files, not with Shitoko Revival project. So in your mind, just imagine that you're doing it with Shitoko Revival project, but you're going to be doing it with the FDR instructions. Follow their download and installation instructions. If you need to go to their help channel, super simple. All you need to go to is Shitoku, if I can spell it right, shitokurevivalproject.com. Head here, hit download, and then go to stable release. If you want the car pack as well, you can download it. There's some really cool cars in there which you can kind of get started with. Head to stable release and licensing stuff. Agree to sign your life away, hit download, and that's it. Then once you've got the files, head to Content Manager, and then you'll just get the zip file of the actual installation of the track, drag it into here, and it will pop up here, and make sure you install it. To check that you've got it installed, head to Content, go to your tracks. You can search it by Japan if you want. Head to Shitoko Revival Project and you should have all of your kind of different spawns if you wanted to. The ones we're going to be using today is the overload layout. Now, to put it simple, this basically just allows way more cars. So the standard map only allows 40 cars on it because it's got 40 pit boxes. This has 170 pit boxes, so you can have a lot more cars. Basically, you can have a lot more traffic because obviously the more traffic, the more obstacles you're going to have and cutting through makes it a bit more fun. So if you need the overload layout, I think you can just Google Shitoko Revival Project overload layout and you'll be able to find a link somewhere, install that into your Content Manager, and then you're good to go. So heading back to our beginner's guide, we get rid of all of those. We've got this, we've got this, we've got the AI spline. So the AI spline, you need to head to Assetto Servers Discord, which you just click in the little top right corner, you can see. Then you'll get their Discord here. Head to the AI spline releases. It's literally just on the left bar here. Hopefully that brings it into camera. And you can just download version 10, but I like to have the latest versions because they make cool updates and the traffic goes into places where you're like, whoa, I didn't even know that happened. So anyway, hit AI spline releases and then just hit download. So now we've got Assetto server, we've got our AI lines, which is what we need for AI. Now let's head to initial setup. Again, if you want to follow any of this or I've moved over something way too fast, assettoserver.org, and they have the beginner's guide, which literally tells you everything that I'm doing right now for you. I don't just know this all off the top of my head. Now, for now, we'll be using the minimum amount of cars needed for the default traffic settings of Assetto server. If we wanted to have more player or traffic cars, we would adjust steps 4 and 6 accordingly. These can be adjusted at any point, although doing so before packing the server for the first time means we don't have to edit the file ourselves, move the checksum data, or even repack the server and potentially overwrite work we've done. Start by navigating to the server tab of Content Manager. If you don't have it, go to this menu and enable it. So what you can do is go to Settings, Content Manager, Appearance, and Server. You need to make sure, because you can see in the top right next to Content, the Server button appears. So if you haven't got it, make sure you do that. Click on server 00 in the list of the left, in the list on the left, and then on server 00 text, change it to the name of your server. So let's head to the server tab, create a new one. We got server 00. We're going to call it Sloshy No Hesi 2024. So that's the name of our server done. Click on the track preview image of Imola and change it to Shitoko Revival Project Tatsumi PA. Now they've got Tatsumi. We're going to be using the overload layout because we want loads of cars. So Shitoko Revival Project overload layout. Okay. Move the capacity slider to 11. So again, we're going to be doing it just for demo purposes. I would recommend just doing a server once with like 11 or 10 cars. Once you really understand it and you're like, hey, this is actually kind of easy, and you can follow the video again, just up the limit to if you want 60 or 70, and you know, if you want 10 player cars and then 60 AI cars, just move it around how you see fit. but I would always recommend just doing one server first, knowing how you understand it, and make sure you get all the settings correct first. Then you can come back and just make a new server. Move the capacity slider to 11. Click on the admin password field and enter a password that is 8 characters long. Admin password, my password, 1234. Do not copy me. This is very important. Otherwise, you're going to have people come to your server and just instantly get admin privileges, and I will not be held responsible. Okay. So once we've done that, click on the entry list tab and click on the plus to add cars to the list. Add the following cars in this order: 1 Roof CTR Yellow Bird, 5 Audi S1s, and 5 Toyota GT86s. So let's follow them. So we're going to add entry list, and we're going to add the Roof, not from Japan. We need to go to all and then hit Roof CTR Yellowbird. Add one of those bad boys. We're going to add 5 Audi S1s. So Audi S1. Let's add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to add 5 Toyota GT86s. GT-886. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see in the top left, we've got 11 entries with 11 clients. That is perfect. Everything matches up. Only add as many cars to the entry list as there are pits available for the track and layout you've chosen. If the track only has 40 pits and you've added 140 cars, it is not going to work. Assetto Corsa is a very weird game. And, well, it's actually a racing simulator. So it imagines all the cars will need to come to the pits at one point. Obviously, in this case, it won't. But if you have 140 cars with only 40 pit boxes, you do the math. It doesn't really work. So the overload layout has 140 pit boxes, meaning we have 140 potential cars we can add to the server, which is good. The limit is displayed below the capacity slider, and for Shitoku Revival Project Tatsumi PA, it's 40. We've got the overload, so we're fine. Ignoring this will result in the game crashing when joining the server. Very important, okay? Very important. Now we're heading to the rules tab, and we are changing or configuring this page how you see fit. Some recommendations: unchecking virtual mirror, as this forces virtual mirror to be on, which can be undesired. So if you would like people to drive without it, or if you want everyone to have it, tick and untick as you wish to configure. ABS and TC, I would leave it on factory. So basically, if the car has it, the user can turn it on and off. If you force it, it means every car will be forced to have it, even if they don't have it and it's denied, which means nobody has it. So if you've got 1,000 horsepower Skyline and you're trying to drive, you will not be going straight, my friend. You'll be going into the good old barrier. Move the allowed tires out to any position. So it's going to be in here, allowed tires out. Above, I'd recommend setting these to 0, fuel rate to 0, damage rate to 0, because if a lot of people are crashing, you don't want damage, and fuel, you don't want it to go down, and tires to go to 0. Now, they're going to be using these following settings. You can copy them if you like, or copy the ones I've got on screen. They're pretty much the same anyway. I think they're the same. Now we head to the conditions tab and configure it to how you see fit. Don't worry too much about the time slider. We'll get onto that later on. Do not use the weather effects time multiplier, or date. They do not work with Assetto server and could cause problems. So conditions. We could set this to anything. Doesn't really matter. We'll leave it at 1 o'clock for now. Doesn't really matter. Time multiplier, we're going to set this to 0 because I do not want my server to advance. I want it to be constantly nighttime. Just gives it a bit of a cool vibe and an atmosphere. And if the weather changes, just looks pretty cool at night anyway. So, dynamic track, you can set this to on if you want. Doesn't really matter, but this is basically just how much, like, the rubber improving. This is more for racing, not really for, like, cutting in and up of traffic. Weather, you're going to want to hit this from basic weather to weather FX. Don't really need to change anything else. We're going to be doing all of that in the config file anyway. So, click on sessions and configure as as follows. Check pickup and loop while leaving locked entry list unchecked. So pickup ticked, entry list locked is unticked, and then loop mode ticked. Booking off, qualifying and race as well. So booking off, qualifying off, race off. Practice, max it out to 1.5 hours and can join ticked. They're using the following settings, pretty much identical to what I've got on screen. At the bottom, hit save, and then we're going to be packing our presets. So you're going to come down to the bottom. You're going to click the little arrow next to pack. You're going to click options, target windows, include executable, no. Pack into a single exe file, no. Then you hit pack, and then you select it where you want. So for this case, we'll use desktop. Call it Sloshy No Hesi 2024 or whatever you fancy. Not everyone's called Sloshy. And once you've clicked pack, it will go to your desktop. You will see Sloshy No Hesi 2024 on your desktop. I'd recommend right-clicking it, extract all, and then just click extract. So now you've got an actual folder That's not a zip file. On your desktop with CFG, which is your config files, content, which is your cars and your tracks. So your tracks inside here, and your cars, which is the Audi S1, GT86, and your Riff Yellowbird. You've also got your system, which is kind of the data required for it to work. Now we can head back to our guide. Extracting Assetto server and the packed preset, you should have the following zip file somewhere. Assetto server, which we downloaded earlier, and the zip file of your server we just packed. We unpacked it to our desktop. Create a new folder and extract both of the two zip files into it. So you can extract it into the folder directly, or you can make a new folder and put it all in there. It's completely up to you, but it's super easy. So the file we downloaded earlier, if you just want to hit Control N, you leave your server in the top left, and then you head to your downloads. You're going to have Assetto server win x64. Right click that, extract all. It can extract it into your downloads, doesn't really matter. Once it's extracted, it will open. I would recommend, so you can either, you know, copy and paste this all into a new folder or do it all in here. It's completely up to you. I'd recommend right clicking here, copy, and then pasting it into your folder on your desktop. So now you've got the Assetto server inside of all the stuff that we've configured, and we can do a little test run. So first, launch and basic Assetto server traffic configuration. Double click Assetto Corsa exe to launch the server. If you did everything correctly, you should see lines like this. So this means good job, you really done correctly here. You might have the following error message inside of your log. Error during Kunos lobby registration. Error invalid, check your port forwarding settings. Now, I cannot preach this enough. Me and Assetto server and everybody else who makes any kind of video guides like this, guys, we can't sit here and make guides to unblock ports and how to show you, because there is 1,000,001 ISPs and routers out there. So everyone's got a different kind of configuration, more or less. They're all pretty much designed the same nowadays. So what you need to do is just log on to your router with the admin password. If you are young and you do not know your admin password and stuff, ask your parents with their permission, of course. Don't just say Sloshy Online told you to. Log into your router and just follow a guide online. So like they've said here, just Google how to port forward TalkTalk router, and there'll be a guide out there. You know, the internet's a wonderful place. It's also a very cruel place, but it's more or less, it's a wonderful place. You just need to open these ports, TCP and UDP 9600 and TCP 8081. Follow that guide. Make sure you add Assetto server exe into your firewall. You can also do it in your Windows firewall by just typing firewall correctly and just going into firewall and adding Assetto server.exe in there. Again, I can't stress it enough. I can't sit here all day, every day making guides on how to just open port forwards, because yeah, I'd get pretty bored. But anyway, back to the mission at hand. So we head back to our server. Head to Assetto server, double click it. You might get this error, but it's fine, do not worry. Click more info and click run anyway. So our server is now running. So this is basically step one completed. You've made your own server. You've got 3 cars on there. You're going to have 1 Riff Yellowbird. You're going to have 5 Audi S1s, and you're going to have 5 GT86s. Now to join it, you can literally just control click and Content Manager will open. This is my old config. If I hit refresh, you see how everything just changed. Or you can come back to here and you can go to drive and you can go to LAN. And if you hit refresh, it should show up here. Now this is all good. This is perfect. Again, I would recommend making a backup now. You've got like a backup server to go back to should anything go wrong later in the future. But we can test it by just refresh, and let's join as the Yellowbird just to show you guys that everything is working. We're on the right track. We've got the right car and everything like that. So yeah, let's jump into the game and hopefully everything works. Good news. You can see that everything has opened, powered by Assetto server. That's what you want to see. Amazing. We're in our Riff Yellowbird. Now, obviously, everything works as corrected or as correctly. We're on the right track. Obviously, we've got no AI. We haven't configured everything yet. Look at this controller driving. Amazing. But it all works. You know, I can drive. I'm not getting kicked back to the pits. Everything is great. But that is step 1 all done. So we will go on to configuring the basic setup for AI now. So what you want to do is close your server and close the console and navigate to your CFG folder inside your main server folder. So Sloshy no hesi 2024 config. And then you want to head to extra. Extra will not be there if your server doesn't run the first time. If you've got any other error or something like that, extra will not be there. It only appears once your server has run successfully. So please don't tell me, why do I not have extra? Why can I not see this? Why can I not see that? It's because you haven't run it successfully. It needs to run first and then extra will appear. So if you've got extra, good job. Congratulations, I'm proud of you. Open it up with your text editor. Now we need to enable CSP weather. So enable weather effects. This is pretty easy. You can literally just press Control F and then type in weather and then enable weather effects. Double click on it. Instead of false, we want it true, and then we want to enable AI traffic. So head back to, someone subscribed on YouTube. Thank you very much. Good timing. And then you want to enable AI traffic. So you can just type in AI traffic and change from false to true. File, save, make sure that it all saves perfectly. Save and close the file, and then head to your entry list.ini. Entry list is pretty self-explanatory. It's the entry list for all the different cars. If you have 75 cars, you're going to have the bottom car will be car 76, because obviously car 0 is car 1. So we've got 11 cars here, obviously, that we've set in our server. You can double check that by coming back to server main, and we've got 11. Car 0 is car 1. So yeah, if you scroll down to your bottom and you've got 76 cars and you have 77, congratulations, everything's perfect. Anyway, head back to your entry list. For the first car, which should be the roof we want to drive, enable add a line restrictor equals 0. It should be there by default already. I don't know why they have that. Maybe they've updated it. For the remaining cars, we'll add this to add the line AI fixed. So the car that we want to drive, it might not be the roof Yellowbird. If you've got a Skyline, if you've got a Toyota GT86, whatever it is, the cars that you want to drive or you want your friends to drive, AI in caps equals none. That means the AI cannot pick this car. If you want the cars to drive, if you want the cars to be picked by AI and not by players, AI equals fixed. This means that it's locked to AI themselves. So we want it on the Audis and the GT86s. Save and close the file, then open server config and find practice and change it to infinite. So that's all done with the entry list. Close that. Now we're heading back to servercfg.ini, and then you want to look for practice. So it will be pretty low down. Practice 91. So practice, they got time 120 is open. Infinite equals 1, which is what we need here. So you can literally just paste that in there. File, save, make sure you save every time. Close that down. This will make the session infinitely long without resetting the session and sending everyone to the pits when the 2 hours are up. Keep in mind, Content Manager and apps will show time left, which is normal and doesn't mean that it's not working. After saving and closing the file, navigate to the content folder of the track, which is Content Track Shitoka Revival Project. If you're not doing Shitoka Revival Project, it will say FDR or whatever hell track you're doing. Navigate to that. Create a new folder called AI and place the fastlane.aip we downloaded earlier inside of it. So head back to your folder, content, tracks, Shitoka Revival Project. So in here, right click, new folder, AI, simple 2 letters, Control N for a new window. Head to your downloads, fastlane.aip, right click and paste that into the AI folder. Now go back into the main folder and launch Assetto server.exe again, then open Content Manager and go to Drive tab, select the Online tab, and then select the LAN tab. The server should now appear in the server list. It may take a few moments. You might need to refresh the list a few times. Select the roof, click join, and drive out the pits to start spawning AI traffic. Other people should be able to join the server by searching for it or via the invite link that you copy from the console. Do not use the invite button inside of Content Manager. It will copy your local IP, which people outside of your local network can gain access and do malicious stuff to. Use the link that is generated in the console. So when you head here and Assetto server, loading AI spline, good news, everything is working. It's not coming up with big red text. Everything is working as intended. Lobby registration is successful. We're all happy days. Now to invite your friends or to invite people in your stream, whatever, you just click on this. It will open in Chrome. You can literally just take this link and paste it to your Discord or to wherever you want to for your friends to join you. Now you're like, hold on a minute, didn't we just add AI? Why can I still drive the S1 and GT86? Hit refresh a few times, whatever you want. Then it will change. Now look, we can't click the GT86, we can't join with it, or the Audi S1. We can only join with the CTR Yellowbird. So let's do a test. Like I always tell you, it's always good to test. And if it works with the test, we're going to create a backup before we do any more changes or change the different cars and stuff like that, because it then gets a bit messy. So yeah, let's do a test. All right, my computer's fans have ramped up. That only means one thing. Hoi, we're in. Okay, cool. So you can see the roof Yellowbird, which is us, and we've got traffic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the Audi S1, and traffic 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 in the GT86s. So let's get this bad boy all fired up. And if we drive out the pits, you can see they are now spawning in front of us, which is good news, which means we've made a server. we've added the track that we want, and we've added AI. Now you're probably thinking, hey, this is not really fun, not enough cars, and it's just a bit boring and stale because there's loads of gaps between them. You can config the AI files, which I'm going to show you briefly. And obviously you can add more AI cars. The more cars, obviously, is more obstacles. So if you have about 40 cars, then you have 40 cars like in front of you and around you, which I'd probably like recommend between, I'd say, 20 or 30. So yeah, you can configure it how you want. But main thing is the server works, so we can continue doing updates and changes as we wish. So once you've added like, I'd say like, you know, quite a few more cars, like 20 or 30 per person, head back to your config files, go to your extra CFG, open it with Notepad just once. Now, if you scroll down, you can find all of the AI parameters. Param stands for parameters. So these are all the AI stuff that you can change. Now, I'd just recommend just going through these, making backups each time you change anything. Very important, because if you change one of these and the server just runs awfully and you don't like it, at least you have something to come back to. I would recommend just playing around with minimum and maximum distance between AI cars, because obviously if you have a smaller gap between the AI cars, might make it a bit more enjoyable to cut in and out of, and maximum amount of spline points in front of a player. So you could probably make this like a bit less so they can spawn a bit closer to you rather than a bit further away. But I'd recommend just playing around with a few of these. Again, you can play around with the speed and offsets, so if they're in the right lane, they can be a bit faster and stuff like that. You can enable the name tags to be invisible, so if you don't like traffic like appearing as a name tag, you like to see your friends, you can just hit true on that one. Play around with these parameters. Please, 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 please make backups, okay? Or you can come back to this video and copy if you really want to, just the numbers here. But I won't be running through all the numbers that you need to use and stuff. People like different configs and different thicknesses of traffic, I guess is the right way to describe it. So just play around with it. It's going to take some time. There's no just one magic fix. Obviously people at No Hesi and Push and stuff have configured with this so much that they've just found the right balance for their servers. And obviously that's pretty much the kind of golden dust which they won't share with anyone, so which is fair enough. So yeah, I recommend just playing around with those and just making sure that you find a number that you like for all of them. So if you're watching on YouTube, unfortunately, that is the end of the video on YouTube. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I'll be uploading a bit more of an extended version over on my Patreon, which you can become a member for as little as £1 a month. Supporting me, I'm super appreciative if you go ahead and do it. Supports me as a content creator and allows me to keep doing this as a job. So yeah, if you want to see how to change like time of days, if you want it to advance from like a day to night, you want like a cool cycle like that, if you want to add different weather, if you want to add some plugins, if you want like a plugin where if you flash your headlights you can race each other, that kind of stuff, all of that will be over on my Patreon, which will be linked down below in the description, so feel free to check it out. But with what I've shown you so far, you can set up your own server, you can invite your friends, you can have different cars, you can have loads of AI if you want to. As a reminder as well, I'm not just putting all of this behind a paywall. You can literally head to assettoserver.org, the beginner's guide, everything, even the extended stuff that I'm going to run through is literally all here. So if you want to do it and just feel confident enough now that you understand how a server works, feel free and go ahead and experiment. Please continue making backups before you make any changes so that you have something to come back to. But yeah, that is it, unfortunately, for my people at YouTube. Lastly, I will say that I do stream over on Twitch, so please feel free, if this video helped you out, you want to get involved with a bit more of a racing community, or you want people to cut up with, or you want to race with us on iRacing or Assetto Corsa, please head to the link below in the description, drop a follow on my channel, join my Discord as well so you get notifications when I go live or when new YouTube videos like this upload to my channel. And yeah, just become part of my community. I would really appreciate it, and I'd appreciate if you hit the subscribe button also. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it a lot, and hopefully I'll catch you guys on the next video or on my Twitch channel. Take care. Peace.